Hey everyone, I'm Mark,
And I'm Alex.
and this is Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks. Welcome everyone to the next episode in the podcast. We're going to continue on our Final Fantasy X, just kind of play through a lot more story again. It's kind of just we're in that season of the game, but this is good stuff, right? I mean, we're getting all the details filled in for us.
Yeah, and we're really getting into the interesting details of the game now.
Yeah.
All of the questions are starting to be answered. A lot of these loose ends are starting to be tied up now. We're starting to get the big picture.
And so where we left off, we just got back onto the airship, so we finished off Xanarkin, we learned all the info for Yunalesca, we also killed her, and now we're back on the airship. First thing to note is, at this specific part of the airship, because later it goes to a different track, but we got the Beyond the Darkness, is what it's called here, and we will get it in a different area coming up here pretty soon as well, but this is kind of the first time we hear it, and dude, this is, I think... This has got to be tied for probably my favorite track of the game.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Honestly, this is one of my favorites as well. I like the way they always do play it on the airship. They played it the first time too. We just didn't really mention it. It was the very first time, back at after Al bed home.
Sure.
You get on there, it plays this for a little bit before you have the monsters and Rin and all that stuff. Yeah, this one is one of my favorites as well. It's awesome. We'll be hearing a lot of it too at a certain end game place.
Yes, and that's what it's nice that it's there because some of these songs are great and all, like the Blitzball one. I'll give it that when you're in the Blitzball menu, or even just a Blitzball song when you're playing Blitzball, listening to it on repeat over and over again. Sometimes like, all right, I'm done with this song. But luckily this track isn't like that. So just wanted to kind of highlight that there. You can do Blitzball. You can do Blitzball now. And, dude, I was like, oh, yeah. Dude, I was so excited. Hopped on. Of course, I had to do some games, right? So I got in there. I just did a couple, but it's been so long since we've done it in this save for the podcast that I totally forgot, man. So I just did a couple. Team level 7, my Aurochs, original OG Aurochs, are 34-0. I am so proud, man. They are just killing it.
That's pretty crazy, man. I think once you get past that first initial hump, you start gaining momentum, especially once you start developing. The first couple of games, I mean, you tell me, but they can be really rough, huh?
They can. I mean, it's like we beat the dead horse on our Blitzball series. It's techniques, right? It's just the lack of techniques is just so hard to get it going.
Exactly. I mean, because you start thinking of techniques not just in the status, but in the stat upgrades that give you and what that can let you do. That was the big shift in Blitzball for me, honestly, when you start realizing you start using that in your strategy when you can pass, who you're going to have on defense, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, exactly. And so, great highlight. You can play Blitzball, enjoy it. It's so much fun. As you walk around, you can talk to everyone. Pretty much everyone just talks about, like, we need to think. I'm trying to think, blah, 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 thinking, right, because that's where we left it. We don't know what to do. We just killed the only way that we know of kill Sin. We got to think of something. Brother, this is kind of funny. He's talking in all bed, and he's just like, nah, thinking's not my forte.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. We'll find out a lot more about Brother as well. He has a radical lifestyle choice change later on in his life, I think.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I mean, Oren's saying that too. He has his classic, basically you go and talk to him. He's like, we do nothing. We think and we wait. Basically they were just hammering down the fact that, of course, the key here is going to be that link between Tidus and Jecht, right? How do we use that to help defeat Sin? He also kind of has this thing of like, rush this and we lose everything. Is another good line.
Gonna lose it all. And, just again, guys, there's never been a Guardian that's become the Final Aeon, that's had a child before. It's not happened in 1,000 years. There's never been a parental child link. It's never been there, and now it is. Let's move on. Let's go ahead. We're going to just explore the ship now. We already know the Blitzball team. The Albed Sykes is on board just down the stairs. You can go do that. And Rin's just sitting there. If, you remember Rin on the airship before, why he's here right now, I don't know. Before he was fleeing home because it was getting blown up. Now he's just like, I'm just going to hang out with you guys.
Exactly. He's just decided to set up shop and live on the airship, apparently.
Yeah. And
But
whoa, you
I mean,
talk to him. Got any weapons? And you're like,
yeah.
Myron, what nice fortunes you have here. What is this?
Who the heck has this kind of money on here, though? I mean, all right, we'll get to that. But he actually has some decent stuff, right?
Aw, dude, it is great. So first off, if you just look at the weapons, all the weapons, they'll just have one customization on it, right? And it's just gonna play to whatever class. So it's either strength and or pierce, depending on if it's Kamari or Orin, and then just magic. And both those are plus 10%.
Mhm.
Pretty good. I mean, I'll take 10%, heck of a lot better than 3%, that's for sure. But the key,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, 3 open slots. And,
Yeah.
that's not really like a unicorn kind of item at this point, but it is with like just one actually beneficial, useful customization on it.
Oh yeah. What usually happens in my playthroughs is you tend to get certain drops or certain characters that you use a lot. So this is a nice time that you can just buy some of these weapons for some of the characters that you maybe haven't gotten very many
Sure.
drops for. Because like you said, I mean a 4 slot weapon, even though it does have an ability already on there that isn't the best, but when you really think about it, strength plus 10 is pretty decent. Magic plus 10 is good. There, it's actually like the first time that you can buy decent weapons and armor, really.
Yeah, that's just wide open, meant for customization.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, well, if you talk to once back in Mount Gagazek like myself and basically went bankrupt, I'm not sure how you're gonna have money at this point to afford these, but well,
Yeah, true.
if you do, and or you just have saved up to this point, you're in luck. And like you just highlighted here, right? These aren't exactly like game changer weapons or anything. You do have to have the items to even make them worthwhile through customization. But it's like an open canvas for you to go ahead and now like customize almost fully the way you want to do them until you get kind of the better stuff that we'll get to obviously in a bit. Weapons, they're 76,000, so that's quite steep.
Hmm.
Orins and Kamaris, they're a little bit lower. They're at 38,000. At first, I was like, that's weird, but then I was like, well, they got Pierce on, so it's only a
Yeah.
2 open slot weapon, right? So that's why it's a little cheaper. But one slot is worth 38,000. Goodness gracious!
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's the most expensive or the most valuable thing in this game, right? Is open slots when you think about it. I mean, some abilities, sure, but
Sure.
especially when we're talking about strength plus or piercing or something like that. The armors are really good. This is what I usually tend to do because they're a lot cheaper. 16,000 for every single
Yeah.
one because basically they don't have that differentiation between characters on this one. It's all just HP plus 10. They're a heck of a lot cheaper, and at this stage you can put elemental proof abilities on it. You
Yeah.
can put status proof abilities, and you tend to kind of have those items more than the ones that are going to be required for really good weapon upgrades. So I like the armors. I mean, that's what I usually do here.
Yeah, I agree. And because they're so cheap, buy a couple, and now you can actually kind of really
Mhm.
make some good situational armors. And just kind of have those really specialized items that aren't that expensive. And HP plus 10%, I'll take it. Heck yeah, man. Especially at this point in the game, that's very helpful. HP per 10%. Yeah, sure. Once
Oh
you're in
yeah,
the 20s and
exactly.
30,000s, yeah, I might not make a big deal. But right now, if I got 3,000, I get an extra 300. That's quite helpful.
That's what I
That's
was
more
gonna
than
say.
one node.
Yeah, exactly. It's at least a couple hundred, something like that. So that's not. I mean, that's a good ability to have on there. It's not a problem at all.
Time to get customizing then. So maybe you've been stealing items up to this point. Maybe you haven't done anything and well, you just can't really customize. So I would say probably just keep doing what you're doing then, don't even waste these because these really are focused for specifically customizing. And so if you don't have the items to make it even happen, I'd say I don't know. Don't even waste your money right now because they're gonna be here and it's gonna stay here. So it's not like you got to kind of scoop them up and just hold on to them. I would say, maybe just wait till you get some items and be wise, right? Some of these items take a long time to accumulate. Some of them are really hard to get, difficult, or time consuming. And so make a save for sure before you do it because just in case you make a mistake, like, oh crap, I meant to put it on some other character. You got that to fall back on.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, you can buy them and you can hold on to them for some future purpose that you might have
Sure.
in mind. Maybe an end game armor or something like that. Yeah, we're kind of getting to the point too where we're almost going to have free reign in a minute here to go to
Yeah.
different locations. So it will be easier to farm some of these items if you do want to customize a whole bunch of them, like dark proof, will be
Yep.
really easy to do. Some of the elemental ones, there's a
Yep.
lot of options.
To your point, we are about to get into some of these areas, and it's not really that uncommon for empty slot items to drop, right? So it's kind of like, again, take this as you will, especially the weapons because they're so expensive. But just keep in mind, there's other options. But if you're really hurting, dude, this is a great time for it.
Yep, exactly.
All right, well, you can go ahead, venture out, walk around all you want. Last time we were on the airship and we had free roam, it was kind of like after home and we had a bunch of different people on and all that. So it's kind of like as it is and would be right now, the airship. There's nothing really to do, though, except to go up kind of the upper level, and then you'll see Yuna and Kamari. You go and talk to him and it starts a scene. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, what would you think at this point, right? It's like your whole life, you built up to this moment, you get to the moment, you realize it's nothing what you expected. You end up killing the person. And now it's like, well, crap. So she's just like saying, I'm no good, man. She doesn't like herself right now.
Oh, she's too tough on herself, man. She's just like, I'm no good. I can't think of what to do yet.
Yeah, it's like
okay,
we literally just got on the ship. I tied my shoe and I came and saw you. It's like you've had 30 seconds.
Yeah. We just killed your namesake. So we need a little bit of time to grieve here.
Yeah, seriously. How do you think this affects me? We just killed the hottest woman alive in Spira right now, okay? Like, this was a hard thing for me to do.
Oh, man. A loss for the entire world.
It was a loss.
Yeah, Kamaru steps in here, right? Like, he at least comes in with the save.
Yes, Yuna, no apologies. He's got it right. I mean, he really does. Kamari's a good voice of reason for Yuna, as we already know, but it's like, yeah, I mean, what we did, we had to do, right? You can't apologize for it because, newsflash, we were all right there behind you, supporting you along the way, right? It's not like you just did this rogue decision that no one agreed with.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, we were all in it together. Apologizing is running away. Yuna never run away.
Yeah.
Kamari, we try with the voice, but it's tough. It's not an easy voice to do.
Kamari difficult. No contractions for Kamari. It is great, and it kind of goes on. They're trying to they're still brainstorming essentially. And Kamari, well, he rocks, man. Tuna's like, Kamari, you rock, man. And it's because Kamari thought of the idea to go talk to Mika. Make him talk. Okay.
This reminds me of a Sunny quote. Hey Frank, does that waterboarding actually work? You bet it does. I got Micah to admit to things he never even did.
He never did. Talk, Micah, talk. Oh.
I can just see it now. Oh man. And this one too, this is really funny because we're looking to Kamari now. He's the guy.
He's the patriarch, man.
Yeah, he's got the wisdom right here. What are we gonna do? And he's like, what do we look into? Yevon's teachings. And then Yuna comes back with that. Yeah, but we already know it's not in Yevon's teachings. They failed us. And then he just pivots. He's like, not in the teachings. Answer lie outside. Yes. It's like, well, why did you just say Yevon's teachings?
He misspoke. All right, he's like, Kamari misspoke. Yeah. Kamari mean.
Yeah. After Yuna calls him out, he pivots real quick or something there.
We get that we need to go and talk to Mika about this, which is a very interesting thought from them. I mean, I know at this point we're just renegades and we're just going to be doing whatever the heck we do and no one's going to stop us. But it's like, guys, Mika is in Bevelle, the seat of power in Spira and the church, and you want to go there? This guy's branded us a traitor. That's pretty serious.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, let's go right into the hornet's nest here.
Well, go back to the bridge. We are greeted with the nice scene. We got big brother Waka. Hey guys, it is a great idea. And little sis Riku's like, no, big bro, I got the idea. Well, here's the thing. Lulu, she kind of spoils it, right?
Oh man, I love this scene because they're like both kind of bumping in front of each other. Like, it's that we can just, like cutting each other off. And then Lulu's like, the hymn of the faith. Yeah, it's synchronized. Like, so freaking funny.
It is. Yeah, so they're all brainstorming about the hymn of the faith. The hymn is the key. They're taking what they've learned. They've been thinking, hey, look at that. They're succeeding where Riku and Titus failed for a long time. They know that Jet likes the hymn of the faith, and so they're like, hey, it seemed to kind of calm him down. So the hymn is the key.
Right. It was, we remember that time under Lake Makalania when the hymn of the faith was playing and Sin got close and everything like that, and he was just listening to the music, right?
Yep.
That was pretty much said.
We need to go to the Highbridge, and we'll figure out how to do that in a moment. But let's take this moment. So we kind of been on board. Again, this is kind of the first time really being able to spend as much time as we want, doing whatever. There's no one extra on board, so to speak, and all that. And it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I was thinking, like, what do you think of this airship, right? So every Final Fantasy, what is one of the best moments in the game? It's when you get the airship. It's like, oh, yeah, dude, I got the airship. This is sick. It's so, I'm like, all right, what about this airship? You can go into the interior, dude, honestly, I'm not impressed. It's boring. There's nothing in here, you know? You go into, like, the side rooms where, like, Dada was. It's just empty. It's like, okay.
Kind of similar to a lot of the other older Final Fantasies, too. I mean, you've got people here and there that you can talk to on the airship.
Sure.
You can go on the deck. There's nothing there. I mean, even, heck, take like the High Wind or something like that in Final Fantasy VII. You got people all over the place, but not really anything going on. The one thing I do think is really funny about this, though, is it looks like they have like touchscreen mirror or windows, something like that.
Yeah, like holographic little projections.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. It is very advanced tech, so we do know that, and that is the pretty cool thing about it. We already talked about the actual model of it. I think it was maybe in one of our little short segments. Awesome, right? I mean, I really do like the model. It's really cool looking. You talk to Sid, and he'll give you like the little nav map, little kind of tutorial picture thing, basically like this is how you get around the world. It really builds it up and makes it seem like, yeah, this is so cool, and you're like, no, this is not cool. I want to fly around the world, but you can't. This, I think, is like the most glaring downfall of 10 compared to the previous titles, because it was the first one to remove open world, like the entire open world, just exploration and travel. Mm-hmm. And it's already been like that up to this point, but even when you get the ship, you're like, okay, well, now can I fly? No, you can't do that. And so the nav map technology is kind of just their cheap way of saying, hey, we didn't want to model an entire world on the PS2 because one, it'd probably melt the system, right? And then two, it probably was a lot of work. I can imagine that, but it's like, dude, it's just... I don't know. It takes the wind out of my sails, right? Because I loved going around the open world, like discovering new places you never went to and all, like actually being able to travel to them, right? Not just discovering them, but be able to go there. And I don't know, it's just kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that too. Obviously we came from old school Final Fantasy games.
Yep.
From 7, 8, 9, where every single one of those, once you got to this stage, like you said, it's a big milestone in the game that kind of signifies that you're getting near the end. Even the older ones that I played later on, like 6 and 5 too, you tend to get the airship sort of at least past the halfway point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking. But yeah, I mean, you're right on that. Like, I've thought about it, and obviously they couldn't create like a world map like the old games used to have back when it was like, Final Fantasy VII style or Final Fantasy VIII style or anything like that.
Yeah.
It is a shame because when you think about it, you don't really have the ability to fly an airship.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, like I said, but it's just, it's such a letdown. But once you go into the actual nav map, you talk to Sid, he'll take you there. They do actually have like a world map. It's in the background of the nav map. If you don't even select, anything, you just kind of look at the background. It's kind of like we're doing just a 360 circle kind of like drone view of it. And it is rendered in 3D, and it does look, it's got like okay detailed stuff. I will say, even now, the downfall is that it spins too fast. It doesn't make me dizzy. I just can't see the details, right? It circles around like, now it's far. Oh, here it comes again. Oh, cool. Oh, nope, now it's far again. It's like, come on.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. That's kind of funny, though. But yeah, I mean, at this point, the world map is just relegated to essentially a list.
Yeah.
That you just kind of scroll through it, selects your location, you select that place, it just transports you straight to a save sphere at that location, one of the main central one.
And so, yep, those are our three options. We got list, input, and search. We will, of course, go into all of it for now, though, just to kind of get a move on. Go into list, Highbridge is there, it says new, and so you're like, oh, cool, we're there. Thankfully, It put us at the front save sphere, not all the way back, right? So it's like, you get to go right there. Move forward from the save sphere. What do you expect, man? Oh, guards aren't letting us in. Don't you know who we are?
Infidels.
We're infidels. That's who we are.
The guy's voice acting here, I was loving it. We'll strike you down in the name of Yevon. And Titus has such a great line. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so guys,
He's like looking around. It's like, yeah, he's looking at like Or, and everyone's like, so guys, we're just gonna kill him, right? Like, yeah, okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah. Pretty much, we're just like, dude, we killed like hundreds of you guys. Come on now, stop. Just go walk home. You know, turn around, just lay down, pretend like you're dead,
Yes.
and we'll go about our business.
Infidels! Nah, dude, come on. I mean, they are ready though. I mean, give them credit. They're gonna stick to it. They're gonna stick to their values. They're gonna go ahead. They truly believe we're traitors. And just when it's about to pop off, dude, what in the world? How did she get to this point? Shalinda? Really? Shalinda? That's who we're gonna meet again. But she comes in and actually breaks it up, of all people.
Oh man, this is crazy, right? Shalinda. How
Shalinda.
the heck did she get into a position of authority? But apparently she did. And basically, yeah, she tells him, it's like, well, hold up a second. She's not a traitor. Okay, that's just basically a lie spread by the Albed.
yeah. And they do address her as captain. So we do, as you said, she's a captain. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
who did this? But yeah, and rumors spread by the Albed. What? I mean, I can't even do it high pitched like that. But oh, dude, it's so great. What? Yeah, Riku's
Honestly,
like, what in the world, man?
It literally sounds like they added it in, like they edited it in after the fact or something like that. Well, you know, the guards are like, well, what are we to do then?
Stand down. Yeah, dude, Riku, man, she's a character.
It's like a German accent here. Stand down.
Stand down. She's trying to be all like, yeah, like captainish and stuff. Yeah, because I mean, which she does say that they're kind of like, so Shalinda says that it's an Albed rumor. They kind of question, and she's like, you know, to be honest, I kind of don't understand it myself.
Oh,
she's not even understanding what's going on either here.
She says it in a typical Shalinda way, though. She's like,
Yeah.
I truly don't understand it myself. You know, and then she goes on like, Lady Yuna has always been really good. Da da da.
Yeah. It's good that she's on our side, but yeah, she does know what's going on. Talking to her more as the conversation develops, you really understand that Yevon's in a bad state, right? They're in a state of turmoil. Things are going crazy. They, I'm assuming, are losing believers, is what I'm kind of getting, right? Because, you know, they're really scraping the bottom here. They called Shalinda, and she even says they called me up out of the blue to be captain of the guard. And it's like, oh my gosh, do you know who this chick is? Like, captain of the guard? Come on! You need some strong will for that, guys. Strong will.
I think what it is, too, is Yevon, like their maesters, have been disbanded. You've got Kelk.
Well, he's dead now.
Yeah, Kelk got taken out. I was gonna say, I have to think about that. I always forget, because you really don't, I don't even know if he's mentioned again. I mean, other than that one
he's not.
Seymour where he says that he killed everybody, but, you know, not specifically Kelk. So, yeah, Kelk, I guess, is done.
Micah's dead.
You know, Seymour is somewhere. We don't know where they, as far as they're concerned, they don't know where he's at.
Enoch's dead.
Who knows if they even know if he's dead yet, right? Like, that news probably hasn't spread. They probably don't know any of this.
We were probably going to get to that because I was thinking about this. I'm like, why is Yevon in such a state of turmoil, right? I mean, I know we've kind of shaken things up a little bit here, but, you know, for instance, and we'll find out here in a second, they don't know about Yunalesca yet, so they don't even know that's happened. Other than that, okay, yeah, some of their leaders, but like, why is because some of their leaders got killed by quote-unquote traitors, the whole thing just falls apart, you know? I mean, shouldn't everyone be more united against us? That's what I would think.
You would think so, but I mean, luckily that's not the case. We got some allies here and there, and like you said, even though Shalinda is really annoying, he is a diehard supporter of Yuna, so that's a good thing.
And to kind of point that why she got Orin, Simon's like, dude, Orin heard that, and he's like, short on believers these days, huh?
Yeah,
he's like,
not kidding.
Zenith.
And then she comes in, you know, she's got her little inspirational speech. She's like, I will weather this, you know, this tide as a rock, blah, 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 I'm unmovable. I don't know. She has a bunch of things.
She's just like that. Yeah, so it's like everyone's losing the faith, but she's like, but no, I will stand firm and be the rock that stands firm. And it's like, poor creature, let us end your suffering. You're clinging to false hope here. Let's go ahead and just kill her. Let's take the Seymour Yunalesca route here. I kind of understand what they're saying here. Thing is she asked why we're here, and we're here to see Mika. I think it's something like, why would Mika want to see us, or something like that. But Orin lays out, it's like, well, Yuna is now his only hope, because everything that's happening and all of that, we've turned from traitor to now possibly his only hope. Why? Well, because we'll find out here. But we need some more info. And I love this because Orin says that, and Ricky was kind of like, huh? And he says something, and she's like, oh, okay.
More information? What is that? Titus at this point is like, all right, let's go teach him some manners.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna teach him some manners, man. Mika, it's time, man. All these bad things you've been saying about us, oh no. Let's teach you some manners.
Yeah.
We are gonna go teach Mika some manners, but first, we're gonna get to our short segment. I think it's a good one. Alright, our short, this time, favorite start to the game. So we kinda left this a little bit more open-ended. It's not maybe necessarily just like the cinematics or the movies leading into it, but just like the start of the game. You get in, you're moving around, you're playing. I'll start us off here. This is tough, man. I mean, we were literally just talking about this right before we hit record, and you kind of mentioned, like, you'll just see how you feel in the moment, and I'm kind of right here with you because I don't know. It's tough. I would say I loved 8's beginning because it was kind of like, it was like your final, right? It was kind of like a student thing you're getting in, and it was just kind of a really cool thing. Obviously, you got the fun Squall and Cypher, like a little battle thing, and so that was cool and all, but then you get into it and it was really cool. It was a little bit slower. Some of them were very like, you hit the action going and stuff, but I liked that build up. You got into the open world instantly, like, oh my gosh, you could have walked around and done all of that stuff, and so that was really cool as well. And then of course just the whole time trial with Ifrit, that I really enjoyed kind of that whole beginning.
That is a really good one. 8 was one of my favorite intros of all time, especially with that music that plays in the beginning.
Oh,
and
yes.
It starts off with the scene of the ocean and everything like that. And the way they do it, where it's sort of splitting between different scenes in the fight, that was just amazing. I mean, it was a really good intro. And like you said, this is a really tough one. It's hard to say because honestly, I really like most of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
honestly, almost all of them, to be honest. But I will have to say Final Fantasy VII, the original, was the very first game, or the very first Final Fantasy that I played. Probably one of the first games that I played. That intro scene, as everybody knows, just Final Fantasy VII being what it is and really popular and most people love it. That intro is just awesome. I love the way it zooms out the entire Midgar, and then it kind of hones in on the train, and then of course, the little action scene and everything. It's awesome, the views that you get of Midgar. Yeah. Love it.
And just also how it starts. You're like on a mission, right? You guys hop off a train, you knock some dudes out, and it's like, dude, we're terrorists. We're about to go do a terrorist thing. It's like, what's more fun than that? Being able to live out terrorism in a game. And so,
and I mean, aside from that, I would definitely have 8, 9, 10, 12 in that order, honestly.
Yeah.
And probably 6. I mean, 6, so I will be honest, like 6 I didn't play until much, much later. So 6, sure. I don't have the same kind of nostalgia, but 6 is amazing as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I've played 6, but only once, and I don't quite remember it. So I'm sure some of the older ones have some awesome ones too. But like we said at the beginning, this is hard to kind of like choose a favorite because they are all so great, honestly. And so my favorite start of the game, 8, Alex's 7, and so cool stuff. Let's go ahead and let's get back to the playthrough. All right, we're seeing Mika. We're in like the judgment chambers, I guess, or something again. And he didn't really like the news that we gave him. We somehow went from traitors to now, oh, have you gotten the Final Aeon? It's like, oh, so now you want us to kill Sin all of a sudden. Interesting. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I had to write down some of my favorite lines in his voice actor here. Why are you here? You must go and defeat Sin.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Such a ridiculous.
You were wondering for the episode if you'd get the accent down. That's pretty good, man. I'm impressed.
Good.
Yuna's like, yes, we did see her. And we fought and killed her. So it's like,
yeah, it is like
whoops.
We fought and defeated her.
Yeah, what was like cling to the tradition, like the tradition of sacrificing summoners no more, right? They're like, we're not doing that anymore. He didn't like that. Well, actually, you go ahead, man. You take it away.
Well, basically, he talks about how that was the only way of calming sin. That you can never really, you can't really, defeat sin without the final Aeon. And of course, Titus is like, well, we'll find another way. And I love this one too. Preposterous. There is no other way.
No other way. As we talked about throughout the series, and we're doing 10, going back and playing these games older, obviously. You just hit it right there, too. How he says it was the only way of calming sin. Kind of think about that. It's like, okay, what does that mean? He didn't say killing him, he said calming. I was kind of thinking about it, so it's like, okay, so apparently when a baby sin is born, it's not very feisty, I guess, right? I mean, that's what I get by that, and we can also kind of maybe see that with Jet. Jet hasn't been sin that long in the scope of the existence of sin, so maybe my thought with just the calming is that maybe the longer a specific sin, right, because we know that they're dying reborn with the Guardians, so we know that longer a specific sin is alive, maybe the more dangerous it gets, right? So like the longer it lives, maybe, so Jet, so to speak, he would just slowly maybe lose his mind or just become more feral or something like that. That's what I kind of gathered out of it.
Maybe loses more of what connected him to the human that he used to be, and that kind of thing. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It could definitely be something like that. And there's a whole bunch of other information that he talks about here. He basically just drops a bombshell. He mentions that Yevon the Immortal is clad in the unholy armor, which is sin, and the only way to defeat him was the final summon.
Oren throws like, it was like the Grand Maester running away. He kind of like takes that jab when Micah kind of learns that, yeah, there's no hope now. He says like he has no wish of watching Spear slowly be destroyed, right? He is totally convinced there is no other way, not willing, obviously, to even think of one. Fun, thanks, guys. So you don't want to find a solution. Why don't you want to find a solution to the sin problem? Why do you want summoners to have to sacrifice themselves? It's just crazy when you think about it.
Steeped in tradition.
Yeah,
right?
that's just what you do.
It's classic. I mean, I think it's a great concept, though, because it really does play on real life, historical context and events and things like that, where really, it's kind of the same thing as a cult. I'm not saying religions are cults necessarily, but in this context, it's that situation where basically the tradition is this, and there is no other way. This is what it is. Other than, of course, complete atonement, which we already know is impossible. So it's sort of a de facto summoner sacrificing situation. There is no other way because we already know that can't ever happen. So yeah. We do get to ask him at least one more question before he goes, though. We at least ask him, it's like, well, he mentioned Yevon. It's like, who is this Yevon guy? And yeah, this is the part I kind of was ahead of it, but Micah says that he clads himself in an armor out of the souls of the dead, and that the final Aeon was the only thing that could pierce that armor, and, we've just defeated that, so that's why Micah's so impressed.
Like, whoops. That's the thing, it's like, we have only heard this, like, twice. We still don't know what Yevon, he didn't explain what Yevon is, but we just know it's something. So the only thing to get to him, boom, was the final Aeon. But who cares? Because you only pierced the armor. You didn't even hurt Yevon. So, like, who cares if you're piercing the armor if it doesn't even kill the thing that is wearing that armor?
Waka has a great line here, right? Yeah, it's like, you rotten son of... running away on us, will ya? Rotten son of a shoe puff.
Rotten son of a shoe puff, guys. I guarantee you. Go out in the world, call some people some rotten sons of shoe puffs. They won't know what to think. You'll be like, yeah, I just insulted you. It'd be great.
I could just imagine they probably just look at you like, shoe puff?
What the heck's a shoe puff?
They'll probably start laughing after that.
Do you want to ride the shoe puff?
Yeah. Not to throw water on their fervor or whatever at this point, but I just find it funny that Final Fantasy logic, right? We have no idea, we don't even know who Yevon is.
Sure.
And we just killed and basically made one guy disappear that could have told us who he was. So we're always just like, we basically kill him and then ask questions later.
We're not the best negotiators, yes. We're like, whoops.
Like, well, we'll fight our way through. Now we have no idea if it's even possible.
Yeah.
Like you said, if Yevon is inside of sin, are we just going to try and fight our way through that, or what are we going to do?
Exactly. So now we know the source, so to speak. At this point, I mean, Micah's gone, so Shalina comes in. She's like, where's the Grand Meister? Orm dude, so cool, plays it off. He's like, he's not here yet. And so she's like, that's odd. She goes,
Keeping us
look.
waiting.
And Bahamut at this point shows up to Yuna and Titus. And it's kind of interesting that, I mean, we know why both of them would be able to see him, but that others can't. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess maybe only summoners can see the fayth that appear to them. I mean, we know why Titus can, because obviously he's a dream of the fayth.
Yes.
But they do talk because, afterwards Waka's like, who are you talking to? Like, no one. Why does anyone ever just tell the dang truth, man? Why does everyone these are your homies. These are your brothers in arms. And you're just like, oh, nothing. Just say, oh, we're talking to the fayth. I mean, I'm like, come on, man. Is that hard?
Like, you can talk to the fayth?
You're like, yes.
Since Toxin got to you.
Since Toxin got to you.
No, and then there's another good line too. He's like, come to my room. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's literally how they go.
Like,
okay.
It's like, dang, that was easy. Maybe I should have asked you to give me some money too. I was like, Well, they do go to see him. So we're in the cloister. We've been here before. We know what this is. And we got kind of a lines of questioning from Little Bahamut, right? So he's like, have you found a way to truly defeat sin? And you could say either like yes or not yet. It's pretty funny. If you say not yet, he's like, okay, come back to me when you have. So they like the screen fades out, goes, give it a second, and then it just starts the scene all over again. It's like, okay, so I can't actually leave. I just got to select the right option.
I wonder if it's like, well, I still don't have any further information, so not yet.
Yes. Well, I will go through this because if you say yes, he'll ask a second option, like how, essentially. And you got a few things. It's like the him is the answer, defeat you, Yevon, or I don't know. And if you select I don't know, it's the same thing. Come back to me when you thought it. It starts the whole thing over, so you got to go through the whole thing over again. It's
I just realized it's like,
yeah, dude. I wanted to see what these words, so I selected them. Yeah.
And I like how you could just continuously lie to him. Have you found a way to defeat him? Yes. Okay,
No.
what do you know? I don't know.
Yeah, don't know anything. The him, I think there's two successful things. You can select the him, I believe. I think that continues the conversation. And then same with defeat you, Yevon. If you do defeat you, Yevon, he's like, yes. He's like, exactly. What do you know? Out of everyone to give us some answers, we finally get some answers. So you find out that you, Yevon, was apparently a summoner. And he says he was peerless. So he was the best summoner in the whole entire world whenever he lived. That he was the one who summoned sin. Thanks, man. Thanks for summoning the bane of the world, by the way. Like, what a jerk. Like, why would he do that? Now, somehow he's still living, but now he lives for only one thing, and that's for alcohol. I mean, summoning. He likes to summon. And so that's crazy. So apparently that's just why the cycle continues. We'll get to that. It says he's not good nor evil. Well, the dude kind of summoned a monster that's destroying and murdering people, so I would kind of put that in the evil category. I mean, Sin's not going around baking cookies for people, so I can't say it's good. He's definitely not, he's not neutral. He's murdering. That's not a good thing. That's pretty evil.
Oh, exactly. I don't know. This is just a really interesting part of the game with the whole revelation of you, Yevon, and of course having the same name as the religion.
Yeah.
And all of this kind of stuff. But basically, I mean, that's how the cycle is kind of revealed, right? That you, Yevon, merges with the Final Aeon after sin is defeated, and then basically transform into the next sin, and the cycle is repeated.
So that is how it happens. We finally have the full picture here. The summoner Yu Yevon's inside of Sin. When the Final Aeon comes and kills Sin, he just uses the Final Aeon, who I guess doesn't die in the process, turns them into the next Sin. And so, well, there you go. And it is interesting, isn't it, that we got Yu Yevon and then a religion of Yevon. Do you think it's the religion that is based on trying to feed and keep Yu Yevon alive? Because they're keeping this 1,000-year-old tradition going of basically allowing Yu Yevon to continue summoning, right? He just summons a new sin. He just summons a new sin. He just summons a new sin. And so it's like they're basically making the King Kong sacrifice to him to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he even mentions that, there's, because we've heard, of course, that sin is eternal. Micah just said it, essentially. He mentions that there is no such thing as eternity if you end it. He kind of drops this one thing, especially we're looking at Titus, and he's like, but when Yu Yevon dies, so does the summoning, and so does the dream, right? So who else do we know here that's a dream. So this is super interesting because I think this pretty much means that Yevon is also summoning, using all of the fayth that we saw in
Yeah.
Gagazet that were currently being summoned, Titus and Dreams Anakin. So really, Dreams Anakin is like a physical, as the Aeons are physical, it's kind of like a real thing.
Yeah.
This is the first time we really find out more about that and what it actually is, I guess.
Yeah, that really does kind of open the door to some thoughts, because that was actually my same thought process too, was like, okay, so how does he summon sin though? I mean, because the only thing we know from summoning is it comes from fayth at this point. Well, yeah, I mean, that was my thought too. Is like, well, I mean, we know that Dreams Anakin is from Gagazet, but it's like, well, but yeah, maybe Yevon's drawing on that too. Bahamut goes through it. He's talking about the vanishing. Says, yeah, when it ends, all the dream will vanish. I think at this point, there's a few things. We'll probably get the order here wrong.
He says in there, it's like, when you are finding sin, make sure that you call us. I fear that your swords and magic won't be enough. Well, we don't have just swords, right? I mean, we got blitz balls, we've got
an airship, we got
puppets.
Missiles. Yeah, we got little puppets.
We got the Mog puppet. We should be fine.
We can throw cluster bombs. Yeah, no, we're good.
We could throw grenades at them. We got plenty of munitions.
Yes. And so Bahamut, he's just like, when the dream goes, it'll end. He's like, I'm sorry. And Titus is like, I'm grateful, but it's kind of interesting. I was really focused in on Bahamut during this part and the tone of voice and stuff, and the little kid voice actor or whatever adult did the kid voice. They did a good job with that. I'm sorry, because it was like truly like a remorseful, like, I'm sorry. And you got to think about that. It is kind of crazy at this point, right? Yeah, we know they've been dreaming a long time, but these people literally sacrificed themselves, right? They were willing to give up their lives and also serve for what they knew as possibly eternity, just to recreate a dream, right? Just a vision of their city they loved and the people in it. And so you kind of like, it's like, wow, I mean, this kid loved Anakin so much. He was sacrificing himself to keep the memory of Titus alive, and all others, but Titus, he wanted to keep the memory of Titus alive. And they're like, dude, we've been dreaming so long, we're tired. And it's like, well, first off, that was a bad deal, bud. You shouldn't have taken it. but at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's kind of just resonated with me with this playthrough.
Yeah, absolutely. And Titus's I'm grateful is also, really good. That, I mean, he wouldn't have even existed if it wasn't for the fayth, right? So it is a very good scene, and I know what you mean about the tone there. Definitely changes. Very good voice acting. Of course, after this, obviously, Yuna is just like, what did he mean by that? Titus is like, oh, don't worry about it, basically, and walks off, just trying to play cool. And she's just like, you're a bad liar,
Yeah, but it's just the reverse.
Really good scene.
Just the reverse about Yuna, right? They knew she was a bad liar, and no, he's hiding something, and well, that's pretty big news. Maybe he doesn't want to share yet, so we'll give that to him. Well, we're back at the Highbridge. They're like just walking out. It's so crazy. It's like, oh, they're just able to walk around now. No big deal. They're not infidels. No one knows that Micah's gone, guys. No one knows this. We literally tricked Shalinda, captain of the guard, into believing this. Everyone's just totally fine now. I mean, I guess maybe Shalinda told him to stand down, so maybe that happened.
Well, and didn't she go to try and find him, and she can't find him anywhere, so she's just like, oh, well, I guess he's gone on vacation, guys. He's gone out to Sanubia Desert for a little bit of
he's on holiday.
Vacation. I honestly don't know. But yeah, basically, everybody's missing. This is hilarious, right? I guess Shalinda is next in charge.
I guess she's the next Maester. Yeah, she's the next head Maester. I mean, goodness, they literally have no Maesters anymore. They're all dead or gone or zombies. Riku gets the idea to be like, hey, we got this idea. Ship in the sky will seem to him. When you hear it, seem along. A ship in the sky will seem. She's like, I'm not sure I understand. Great news, Shalinda. Guess what? You don't have to. And then that's literally what Riku says. She's like, you don't have to. Like, don't even worry about it, Shalinda. We're not going to trouble you with this higher level thinking, all right? You just stay here. Just spread the news, all right? We didn't ask you for your input. Just spread the news.
Riku's just like, I hate you, but could you just please spread the news? Begging you, please. Yes. I really don't like you. That part, too, is so funny. It's like, she has to recite it like, a ship in the sky will play the hymn of the fayth, so when they hear it, everyone should sing along. Yes,
Yes.
Shalinda.
Good
Yes, that's
job.
correct.
Yes. You are
Please
earn
don't
a gold
write
star.
write it down on a note card so you don't forget.
Yeah, do you need us to write down these 10 words? Are you sure? Did we
Put
pick
a
the right
check.
person, Shalinda? You are captain of the guard, by the way.
Put
Well, Shalinda's gonna help us out though. She's gonna spread the news, thankfully. And now at the next point, we're on the airship. I would say start talking to people. Before there was talking about thinking. Now we get some of the end game context, and some of it is good. Like some of it's nice lines, right? Oren's right there. If you talk to him, and he even starts out. He was like, I admit, I was worried at the start about you. To Titus, he's like, you're just a crybaby kid, and he's like, but essentially, I was worried at the start. Now I'm not, and another great thing is he's like, our stories will end together. I don't know how. Maybe Oren doesn't know about Titus being a dream, but he at least knows that his story will end, and that kind of gives you the clue too that that at this Oren's done. Like he's like, I'm done after this. I'm not sticking around forever like Micah.
Oh, it's an interesting kind of like teaser, right? We don't exactly know. Maybe Orin is even part of the dream. Who knows?
Yeah, it's true. Oren, are
But
you a
probably
dream?
probably not. Yeah, but some other good ones too. Waka really has his revelation here,
Yes,
and Waka's character arc is really
it's complete.
fantastic.
That's it at this
Yeah,
point.
when you think about it from the very beginning, it's been one of the characters that we've had from the very get-go. And basically he turns to Sid and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry about speaking badly of the Albed. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
honestly know what I was talking about." He's kind of doing his little renouncement here.
Yeah, spent some time on the ship and all that stuff, so he's actually been around Albed, and yeah, essentially like, look, I didn't know anything, and I was just speaking out of ignorance, and so he apologizes, like, I'm sorry. That's always good to see, right? You want to see people who can do that, who can realize that what
Yeah.
they've been thinking and doing is wrong, and they can actually confront the people that they've been against and apologize, and that's great. So I mean, Waka, he does that. It's like, oh, dude, and Sid. I mean, well, there's a lot of folk in this world. Some of them good, some of them bad.
Yeah, it is kind of like it's like a cowboy talk or something here. Some are good, some are bad.
Oh, dude.
That's good. I love Sid's voice actor, by the
It
way. I
is.
don't know. I should look it up one of these days because he's really phenomenal in this
He probably
game.
did like a bunch of, some of these people, they do like 10 different voices within these games and stuff, but
Yeah, and Waka, not just to kind of go back to this, it's super interesting, right? He went from never questioning Yevon, always following the teachings, finding out that the teachings were all fake, they were all the Yevon, the whole religion was essentially a lie. There really was no true solution. There really was no actual hope at the end of the day.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I would say it's kind of interesting if you think at the very beginning, if he would have known that all of his leaders were a rotten son of shoe puffs, man.
Yeah, and all the scent and all the other stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nuts. Well, actually, a pretty cool follow-up, if you just talk to Riku normally, she just says kind of like same things. Everyone kind of just says some things about just the trip, the journey, all that kind of stuff, similar to like Orin. But after viewing this scene, and then if you go talk to her afterwards, she's like, "Oh, now I'm all warm inside." It's so
Yeah, she heard that. She was like
yeah.
listening in on it. She was right there. One of my favorites, though, this is the best. It's
Oh
finally
yes,
this stage of the life. You get the best quote out of Sin. You can go and talk to him, and the final showdown with Shin. Let's get the show on the road. You're gonna hear
Sheen.
that hundreds of times because it's all the post game stuff.
It's great.
Final showdown with Shin.
It of course we didn't say it the first time we went to Highbridge, but now you get to hear the great thing anytime you select a destination. Yeehaw! Here we go. And so
Yeah, that too. Yeah, and when you cut it out too, it's constantly just yeah. Because you're like, come on, yeah, I know, Sid, yeehaw, let's go.
yeah,
On the
yeehaw,
slope.
buddy. Well, at this point, I mean, obviously you have because we've been talking to people, but you're able to walk around. I mean, and essentially you're kind of giving almost free reign. We didn't really talk about it, but before the Highbridge, you didn't have to do it. Like we said, we kind of we wanted to get through the story. We're about to lay out kind of our plans here, but you could go anywhere. The only thing is because we didn't resolve that thing with Shalinda and Mika, you were actually blocked from some areas. So like, for instance, you can't go to Kilika Temple before the Highbridge, right? There's guards and they just don't let you by. And this is kind of the case at like Doze and a few others. So to kind of like really open up the world, it's essentially like right now. I mean, there's one last area that we'll get to that's part of the story and all that. But other than that, this is it, guys. We're in endgame. Like we are here.
Exactly. We got a lot of side quest content that we're going to kind of figure out how we're going to go over as far as the episode structure. But there's a whole lot of things to talk about.
And that does bring us to the end of this episode. Now, before we say our farewells, thing with 10 is a ton of side content. It's a ridiculous amount. Some of it is very in-depth. And we could spend, I don't know, almost a whole another series probably talking about the side content of this game in as detail as possible. So what we're probably going to do, doing an overall view of some of the things, we're obviously going to be pulling out the most important things to focus in on, all that, but it's not going to be incredibly in-depth. I'm sure some of you are breathing a sigh of relief because we would spend probably like 4 or 5 episodes if we did that. Yeah. For the next episode, hopefully what we're planning on doing is getting to Remium Temple, touching on some celestial weapons, monster catching rewards, maybe some optional Aeons, and the airship passwords and hidden locations and stuff like that. Hopefully we'll be able to get to all of that in one episode.
Yeah, it'll be a lot, but I think it's doable.
And it's great stuff, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, it's going to be good times.
All right, well, we'd like to thank you all for hanging out and just taking the time and listening to our podcast, showing us support. We really do appreciate it. It's a good time. We enjoy putting all the stuff together, and so the support really does mean a lot to us.
Yeah, we always appreciate it, guys.
You can check us out, FinalStop, FinalFantasyTalks.com. It's just kind of our one-stop shop for all the things that we do for the podcast. Got some Blitzball stuff there, a blog. You can listen to the episode on our website if you truly wanted to. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. I'm Mark.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks.